Well, folks, what you're watching right now is a buck working a scrape, a mock scrape that was made by my friend Miss Stephanie Murphy with TRHP Outdoors, a company that makes all kind of neat products, but especially scents to attract deer. Stephanie, that buck is working that scrape over, isn't he?
Well, what you can't see is that over to the right side of that food plaza, I'm sitting up in a tree watching the whole thing. So I'm watching him go back and forth, chasing all of these doe all over the place. And eventually, when you get to the part of the video, all of a sudden his nose is down to the ground, and then he stops and turns straight to the scrape that I had created.
Awesome.
Went over, tore up the preorbital, and then marked the territory.
That's some awesome video, and to create a scrape, you know, something that occurs naturally in the wild with a white-tailed deer, to create that and then have that buck like that coming in is amazing. But folks can, in just a bit, we're going to go, and Stephanie is going to show you how she makes the mock scrape. I mean, it's pretty simple, but there is a process there, isn't it, Stephanie?
Yes, sir, there is. I usually look for signs where I've seen deer either digging or scraping or ripping some of the leaves off the lower hanging branches. And I look for those areas, and depending upon what I find, I'll respond with the different products that we have. So then that makes them think that there's another dominant buck in the area, and it really makes them aggressive.
It's amazing. And folks, you can check all these products out at www.trhpoutdoors.com, right, Stephanie?
Yes, sir, that's it.
Well, let's move in and let's watch Stephanie actually set the mock scrape up.
Hey y'all, welcome to our How to Create a Mock Scrape video brought to you by TRHP Outdoors. I always start anything I do out in the outdoors with Scent Guardian. I start head to toe, spray. I even hit the bottom of my feet. Hair comes next. Ready to go. I found the perfect place for our mock scrape. Usually what I look for is an area that has branches like this that are typically about 3 feet off the ground, and I want a wide variety of branches. They can be alive, they can be dead. What I'll start off with is I use my preorbital spray. I lightly spray it on the ends. I've already pre-cleared the area for our mock scrape, so we'll take our can. I'm using Scrape King. Pop this lid off of here. I want to remind everybody that I have sprayed my hands down with Scent Guardian because you don't want to bring any scent into the area. Inside of our cans, it is pre-infused with our Scrape King scents. So you pop the lid back on there, open up your vent, pop it in the ground, and you want it even with the ground. Put your dirt back around it, and that's how we create our mock scrapes at TRHP Outdoors. Hope y'all have a great day.
Folks, this outdoor cooking does not have to be complicated at all. You might be able to hear this wild pork beginning to sizzle. Basically, the old cast iron Dutch kettle, some B&B pecan wood. That's some really dry wood, good wood to cook with. Pretty simple. We're going to let this cook in the Dutch kettle. Let it brown on both sides. I'll turn it over here in a minute. I'll show you what it looks like when we brown it. Basically, it's just seasoned up with dry seasonings that I like. Not barbecue. We just want to cook this pork so it's real tender. We'll put a lid on it here in about Well, after we turn it, after we brown it on both sides. And then in about 2 hours, I'm gonna hang it up a little bit higher up on this makeshift rack. See what we've got here, pretty simple. We'll hang it up a little bit higher and let it slow cook with a lid. Okay, my friends, we have turned this pork over. We're gonna brown this other side of it here. Got a good fire going. Of course, this fire will die down. I want it to be a little higher right now so it'll brown both sides of this pork, and then we'll put the lid on this Dutch kettle, raise it up. We're at a lower heat setting right here. We'll raise it up to this, up a bit higher here on this thing, and then we'll let it slow cook for, I don't know, a couple of hours. It's not going to burn at a low temperature. And this is going to be some tender wild pork. Sometimes wild pork is a bit tough, you know, it can be hard to get tender, but a Dutch kettle, a little moisture in there like we have right here in probably an hour or so, this meat will be fall off the bone tender. Okay, we'll put a lid on it now and we'll let her cook. And there we go, my friends. We've got the lid on the old cast iron Dutch kettle. We don't have to put coals on top because, as you see, we've got a bunch of wood under here. That's going to burn down and just cook real slow. So we'll pull the lid on this thing. I'll check it honestly in about 45 minutes, but probably turn it one time. We'll take a look at the finished product. I wish all of you were here to help me enjoy this, because kind of method that I've used many times cooking wild pork. It's going to be tender and it's going to be tasty.
Folks, here we go. I tell you what, I've sampled this stuff. I've actually done more than sample. I ate one of those others over there. Is wild pork good to eat? Yeah, it is. But I tell you what, best of Texas barbecue sauce right here, folks. I absolutely love it. This is not barbecue, but I got to have some more of this on there. Actually, I put a lot of it on there. I need to open another jar of this. I eat this stuff big time. There we go, folks. I don't think outdoor cooking could get any simpler than this, do you? I wish you were here. Got those other two right over there in the Dutch kettle. I could plate you up some, but I'll be forced to enjoy it myself. Let's move on with our show, see what Jeff and Larry's got in store.
Okay, today we're going to talk a little bit about hatch chili peppers. Typically you'll find the hatch chili peppers sometime in the months of August, early September, and obviously we've picked up 6 very large hatch chili peppers, and one thing of note, they can be mild all the way to very hot. So these were mild ones, and so we decided that we're going to pick up a few of these, and we're going to make smoked hatch chilies for future use in recipes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to split these, cut them lengthwise, open them up. I'm going to clean out all of the seeds, and we're going to proceed to smoke these. Now, how long do you smoke them? It all depends on how you like them. The more you smoke them, the longer you smoke them, they're going to get more dried out, and you might, if you're going to use them for like a recipe where you want to crush them or dice them, you might want to put them on for 4 or 5 hours. If you want them a little bit meatier, then you probably want to go maybe an hour or 2. So it all depends upon how you like them. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these in half, and we're going to clean them out. We're going to get our Smoke and Tex electric smoker going, and we're going to put these on. So let's get going. Let's get these set to go. We're going to get our Smoke and Tex going, and we're going to make us some hatch chili peppers. Now the nice thing about these is you can freeze these hatch chilies for long periods of time. You can use them in many different dishes, so they're great to have. We're going to get these all done, probably leave some out to use now, and then of course we're going to freeze some for later use. So here we go. Let's get these things cut up and get these on the Smoke and Tex. Just to show you what they look like on the inside, like any pepper, they're going to have a bunch of seeds. And of course we want to get the seeds and the membranes out, clean them all up, and and then we're going to put them on the Smokin' Tex electric smoker. And when we put them on, we're going to put it skin side down, and we're going to smoke them. So when you cut them in half like that, what ends up happening is they actually get more smoke in the meaty part of the pepper. So we'll get these cleaned out, get all these cut up and cleaned out. Meet me out at the Smokin' Tex and we'll get these on the smoker. Okay, there we have it. We have our hatch chili peppers all cleaned out. All the membranes and the seeds have been removed from these 6 chili peppers, cut in half, and they are ready to go on the Smokin' Tex electric smoker. So let's head out to the smoker and let's get these on there and make us some smoked hatch chili peppers. Okay, so we are out at the Smokin' Tex. We're gonna get this thing fired up and get our hatch chili peppers smoking away. So what we want to do is we want to set our cooking temperature to 200 degrees, and then we're going to load the firebox with hickory nuts. We're going to use hickory nuts today to smoke these hatch chili peppers. So let me go get the hickory nuts. We'll get them loaded into the firebox, and then we'll get our hatch chili peppers on the smoker. Okay, so we have our hickory nuts here. We're going to load the firebox with the hickory nuts and smoke our peppers. So here we go. All right, it's time to get our peppers into the Smokin' Tex. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull a rack out here, and we're just going to set them on the rack like so. We want the skin side down when we're smoking these peppers. Again, we're going to leave them on there for, depends on how you like them, but I'm going to probably leave them on here for several hours. And then we'll check on them and see how they're doing along the way, and we'll adjust and determine what we really need, how long we need to keep them on there based on how they look. So there we go. We've got our hatch chili peppers on the Smokin' Tex. We've got it fired up to 200 degrees. We're going to slide these in there for several hours. We're going to check them periodically just to kind of see how they're doing. We've loaded the firebox with hickory nuts, so we'll have some hickory flavored smoke. And again, you want to put them skin side down and the meaty side up, and that way you get a little bit more smoke on these peppers. So we'll come back in a few hours, we'll check on them, see how they're doing, so stay tuned. Okay folks, we are exactly 3 hours and 30 minutes into our smoke, and here we have the hatch chili peppers. Yeah, they're looking real good. See, there's a little bit of meatiness to them yet, just a little bit. They're not completely dried out, and that's how we want them. So I'm going to go ahead and remove them at this point. We're going to take them on inside, and then we will get started on prepping them to put into the freezer for future use. So let's get these on in, and we will meet you back inside and go to work on our hatch chili peppers. Look at those, fantastic. So now that we've had an opportunity to let our hatch chili peppers cool a bit after taking them off the smoker, we let them sit for about an hour and let them get cooled off. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take our hatch chili peppers, we're going to take one pepper, which is actually 2 pieces, and put it in our vacuum seal bags, and we're going to put these right in the freezer. And when it comes time to make enchiladas, or if you want to put some on a hamburger, whatever, you can pull out a single package which will have a single pepper in it, and you'll be ready to go. So let's get these vacuum sealed up. We'll put them in the freezer, and when the time comes, we will be ready to go with our hatch chili peppers. All right, we'll take them over to the vacuum sealer over here, and we'll get these sealed up. All right, we'll get it in the vacuum sealer here, and we'll get this vacuum sealed up. Alrighty friends, there you have it. It's that simple. We've got 6 hatch chili peppers all smoked in the smoking techs. We've got them vacuum sealed and ready for the freezer. All I want to do now is label them and toss them in the freezer, and next time we make a dish that requires some chilies, we will pull out a package of these hatch chili peppers, and they will be ready to go with a great smoke flavor. Give this a try.
Doing a little scouting this afternoon on my little place. It's middle part of September, and going to put out some curiosity lure that's put out, of course, by Texas Raised Hunting Products. Got a spot over here that I want to set it up, and we'll try to see what happens over the next several days. I'll try to check it tomorrow, and then maybe I won't be able to check it for a week or two because things I have to do with the Dallas Safari Club and the Dallas Safari Club Foundation. So going to walk out here just a little way and put this curiosity lure out, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to wait about a week, and then I'm going to come up and set up a trail camera bat as well too. Actually, what we're doing is I've got a spot picked out here, pretty much just kind of behind me here to the right, kind of behind me, that I'm going to set up a tent a little bit later on, and I want to get these deer coming this area to start with, and I'll set the tent up. Then I'll probably put some food around them for a while and get them used to the tent really well, to where maybe if somebody even wanted to stay and hunt out of the tent, they could do so. Let's walk over here and put out this curiosity lure, and like I said, we'll come back and set up a trail camera in about a week or two and see what we can find. As you can see, this is right on the edge of an opening. My property is primarily open, but there is a little bit of brush available. My dad used to use this kind of a trash pile at one time or another, and so we're going to come in here and clean things out. And as you can see, there's a fair amount of different types of brush here, like this yopon. This area has really been used by deer for a long time, and right behind us over here, you can see there's a little creek. And unfortunately, it is a dry creek normally, but it is fortunately wet right now. And to be very frank with you, a little bit later on, if we keep the water here, we'll have a fair amount of wood ducks that come in here, which absolutely thrills me. So we're gonna walk back over here and put out this curiosity lure, and then come back a week later or a few days later and see what we've got. As you can see, we've got the curiosity lure right here from it's called Curiosity Lure Special Blend that Texas Raised Hunting Products puts out, and it's one of those products that seems to work no matter where you're going to put it. So basically what I'm going to do is take the lid off to begin with. And as you can see, there's a totally enclosed lid. I'm going to take the lid off. Actually, I'm going to probably put it at the base because it does have some odors. Put it at the base of this bush right here. And replace the cap right here, and then I can leave it however far open I want to. If you'll notice, you can close it all the way, you can open it all the way. So basically what we're going to do is put this about 3/4 open, I think, like so, and put it in. I'll show you here in just a little bit. When we were cleaning up this area right through here, guess what we found? We found a tree that was hollow, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just place this right in the center there. As you can see, it's really covered. It means if a raccoon comes in, he's going to have to come all the way down into it. It's going to make it a little bit difficult for anything like a deer maybe to reach in there and grab it, because a lot of times that's what those deer will do. As you can see down here at the base is the lid that I'm going to leave there, and I'll see whether a coon or something gets it. But let's put this out. We'll come back in here, say, I'll check it probably tomorrow, but also come back in about a week and then put up a trail camera right here to see what comes in, and maybe a little bit later as we get in closer to the rut. Right now, these bucks are still in bachelor herds, and for the most part, they're not on the property. We're about a mile away from a nice little creek. We got a little creek here, but we got a free-flowing creek about a mile from here, and a lot of times those bucks, until about the first part of October, middle of October, we very seldom see them here. And then once this rut gets started, because we do have a lot of does in the area, next thing you know, we'll have a whole lot of bucks here as well too. So we're going to come back here tomorrow and check it and see what happens. Before leaving, I wanted to check a few little places, a couple little trails, and as you can see, we have some deer tracks right here Not many deer here right now, but there are a lot of does by comparison. As you can see, you can tell this isn't too old, because if you look right there, you can tell that there's a worm pile, and if you look very closely, there's a doe track there with a small fawn following at her heels. So it tells you that we've got at least one fawn this year. I'm going to set up another lure that we have here called Hunter's Creed, and Hunter's Creed buck lure. We've used this in the past at a lot of different places, but I'm just going to kind of set it off on the side of the trail right here and open it up and see what happens. We've had really good luck with this. It says buck DNA, as you can see. Let's set it right here and see if we can get something to come up to us. Again, I'm going to pull the lid off of it, as you can see right there, and if you look, you can tell there's a, I'll pull it back here maybe. There you can see, has kind of a musty sweet odor. Gonna set it up right here. We'll see whether we have a what comes in here. There's places right here where the tracks are, where we can see the tracks, and place this down below it. I'll pick it up later. You can see it's right here, and we'll see what comes into it. Again, we'll set up another trail camera here, but just give it a few days to begin with. Right now is a good time to be doing all this, because we're just about, when it comes to bow season, we're about 2 weeks away, I guess, actually. And between my son-in-laws and I and my daughters, we all have a chance to hunt out here. And usually what we do is I usually set up a deer stand right here. You can tell there's water right there. There's water back there. Look like the hogs been in this one, and we do have a fair amount of hogs. And usually this area right in through here is a good kind of a place to set up. We'll set the tripod, or not, well, we'll probably hunt it out of a ground blind this year. Set a ground blind back here to the right, and where you can overlook this creek bottom, because a lot of times these bucks and does, particularly when you get a hard north wind, which I'm hoping we'll have for too very long, they'll kind of come back in here, and who knows what'll show up. The interesting is too, about a year ago, I found a very fresh mountain lion track. Now, I've been dealing with lions for a long time as a wildlife biologist in a lot of different parts of the country, and that looked like that lion was after a wild hog. Looking at the size of the track, it was probably a female, probably about a 2-year-old female, maybe a little bit older, but she was hanging out in through here for a while, and every once in a great long while, even in this populated area, somebody will see a mountain lion, or we'll get a trail camera picture, and so you can't ever tell. You just got to be prepared for whatever shows up. We'll come back in here in about in 3 or 4 days and check this area out again too. Y'all join us again next week right here on the Sportsman's Life.
And a special thanks to these fine sponsors: Air Force Air Guns, B&B Charcoal, Dallas Safari Club, Hornaday, Pyramid Air, Taurus Firearms, Sightmark, Smokin' Tex, Snap Lock Hunting Blinds, TRHP Outdoors, and Striper Express.